Hello, Mrs. Mason. This is Skylar from 5th Hour doing the screencast for the Thinglink of the American Progress painting. Okay, so here we go. The first thing I'm going to start out with for what I interpreted from this painting is the large female figure that is in the middle of the painting, who appears to be floating. I think that the fact that she's floating can represent the speed of the movement and the enthusiasm of the Americans. I'm also going to point out the star on her forehead, which I think represents that she is the leader and the spirit to keep going. Also, I think the woman leads the miners and the settlers and also the travelers to the west. I have to point out the school book that she carries in her hand, that I think refers to the knowledge of the people of the vast land to be explored. Also, the telephone cable, which is this tab. The female figure carries a telephone pole, or cable, to represent communication between the East and the West. Another thing I want to point out is the Indians down in this corner and also up here. The Indians were considered a roadblock to the U.S., so the U.S. fought them for their land. And in this picture, it seems as if the Indians are running away from the female figure and the oncoming Americans, as if they have been defeated. Another thing is the bison and the bear. These two animals represent that the Americans wouldn't stop at anything that stood in their way of reaching their goal. Another thing to point out is throughout this painting, there are various different ways of transportation, whether it be the covered wagons, the horseback, or the men just walking, the 3 trains, and the ships across the Mississippi River, which is now called the Gateway to the West and is represented by the Gateway Arch. Another thing is the farmers down in this corner, which can show that the Americans, once coming to the West, already claimed that land and using the land for their own good. These next 2 things are awfully small, but still pretty important. These men can represent the gold rush of 1849, and this covered wagon can represent the Oregon Trails. The 3 trains in the background, can represent the Continental Railroads. This is my screencast for the American Progress painting on my Thinglink. Thank you so much.